Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty. I'm back with another Power Book Full Force Season 3 Theory and Prediction video, okay? So the topic of today's theory video: the Serbs kill Mireya. Tommy and Miguel work together to hunt them down and totally destroy them once and for all. This will be the end of anything Serbs in Chicago. And maybe as far as the Serb beef goes, it will follow Tommy out of Chicago, or Tommy will get overrun by the Serbs in Chicago and it will be so bad, which is one of the reasons why Tommy will have to leave. But it starts, or rather it gets to its boiling point, if it already wasn't a boiling point, with Mireya being killed by the Serbs. I want to present how we can see this situation happen. I want to present how this goes down, all that and more in today's theory. Of course, this video is going to be another banger. Go ahead, like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new here. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, now, y'all, let's break it down like this. So, those of us who have seen last season, that's assumingly all of you who are watching this video and listening to this audio, we know that Tommy had major smoke with the Serbs going into the end of last season. So going into the beginning of season 3, we know that Mad Dog's crew, Tommy gonna beef with. There's gonna be some friction with CBI. We know that Miguel in the cartel, there's gonna be some issues. And we also know that Tommy has forever smoke with the Serbs, okay? Now, just like true power fashion, it shouldn't be a surprise at all to anyone that we have already seen some spoilers that see somewhat of Tommy and Miguel working together. However, there was a particular scene where there's Tommy pointing a gold gun at someone and he looks very, very angry, right? Very, very angry. And then there is a blurred image of Miguel behind him, meaning that they're together. Otherwise, there's no way Tommy would have his back turned to Miguel. And it looks like they busted into somewhere and they're up to something. They're looking for something. They're looking for someone. But they both seem very angry. And then there's another photo of what appears to be Miguel to the right and maybe Tommy to the left. They're throwing somebody off of a roof. But if you go back to one of the first teasers, that is somebody who seems to be of European descent, meaning that that is maybe a Serb. So the question is this. 1, how and when does Mireya get back to Tommy? And 2, what would cause Tommy and Miguel to work together again? And the only logical explanation that I can come up with is Mireya dies. Because here's the thing. If Mireya just makes her way back to Tommy, we have a situation where maybe Mireya could get Tommy and Miguel to have some kind of fake truce where they just agree to respect each other's turf, but they don't deal with each other because they not that cool. Hence, there wouldn't be no smoke, but they still wouldn't be around each other in order for us to have the scenes with them together. But what will have them come together and actually working to where it seems like they're looking for someone? Hence, we have Mireya dying. And now I want to explain the beginning of how Mireya gets back to Tommy, and then how the issues with the Serbs and how Mireya ends up dying, right? So, first off, if Mireya gets back to Tommy very early in the season, because we know Mireya is street smart and she knows her way around a pistol, we can assume the possibility of Mireya, right, outsmarting whatever guards Miguel has watching her, and she frees herself on her own and makes her way back to Tommy. We can assume that's very possible, okay? Because even though she's a quote-unquote prisoner of Miguel, she's not like an op. So it's not like wherever Miguel has her, she's going to be chained up, right? Chained up, shackled up, with no way of moving around on her own. That's not going to happen. Miguel still needs someone who he trusts in, which is Mireya the most, in order to deal with his diabetic stuff, this, that, and the third. So all Miguel would have to do is leave. Mireya ends up with a handgun. She forces her way out of there. Nobody gets hurt, blah, blah, blah. Maybe she shoots one of Miguel's guards in the leg. Because Mireya is Miguel's little sister, he's not going to see her as like a huge threat to where he needs to have really more than one bodyguard making sure Mireya don't go nowhere. So there leaves plenty of opportunity for Mireya to outsmart or get her hands on a pistol, shoot the dude in the leg, and leave, right? Thus making her way back to Tommy. Once that happens, Miguel finds out. Miguel probably kills the guard for being stupid enough to let Mireya leave, right? Thus, we end up having a truce where Mireya says, yo, listen, you my brother, I love you. But I love Tommy. Please don't do this, whatever, whatever, whatever. Miguel says, all right, cool, but I'm not fucking with white boy, right? Boom. So now, I have not rewatched season 2 of Power Book Full Force yet. But where I stand right now, I think either, from what I can recall, Miguel isn't working with the Serbs at all, or maybe he was trying to get something done. But either way, Tommy has major smoke with the Serbs, right? So, how the Serbs come in with this is, the Serbs already on Tommy's head. Mandra already said Mireya is going to be around. Tommy and Miguel, they not working together, but however, the fact that the Serbs is on Tommy's head, if Miguel gets any information about the Serbs on Tommy's head, he would tell Tommy in order for Tommy to make sure that Mireya is safe, because he's always going to say, if anything happens to my sister, I'm on your head top, right? Now, somehow in the middle of this, we can have the Serbs get into some kind of smoke, or they on the verge of getting into some kind of smoke with Miguel. And in the middle of all that, they're planning a way to run down on Tommy. So in the middle of that, Tommy is somewhere. Nobody expects the Serbs to come around, right? Otherwise, Miguel wouldn't have Mireya there. Mireya is there. They had some kind of safe house, some kind of meeting, something's going on. Maybe there's a mole. Maybe Jannard and Shanti has something to do with that, because we know they was being mixy with the Serbs anyway, or they was trying to be mixy with the Serbs, and they was also being mixy with Miguel. The Serbs pop up. It's a big shootout. Mireya's around. Mireya's involved in the shootout. Maybe she doing a little bit of shooting. The Serbs kill Mireya. Boom. The Serbs kill Mireya. Tommy breaks down. He tells Miguel. Miguel's like, all right, fine, we got to find out who did this. So not only is there smoke with the Serbs, but they're directly looking for the person who was the shooter. So this is why they busting in the spots. They asking for people with a specific name. They throwing people off the roof, all type of stuff. And in the middle of that, they probably stealing money, burning up drugs, things like that, right? Covering up evidence. And maybe once they find out the person who's the shooter, they also find out that Shanti or Jannard is the person who gave them that information, which led to Mireya being killed, which would be crazy. But either way, the Serbs kill Mireya. Tommy and Miguel go after that specific person, and there's carnage and chaos all throughout the entire video, okay? It's going to be a lot. We know that since Tommy killed his first love, we know that Lakeisha was killed by Tasha. That wasn't necessarily Tommy's op. So The next thing that did not happen yet is Mireya is a loved one of Tommy's being killed without people intentionally trying to kill her. She just happened to be around at the wrong time. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God-given. That's touch by ink. That's on the dome, nigga.